What's going on, everybody? It's Bones88. I'm back here with another racing review. Today, we're going to learn about the good old Pride. Pride is probably one of the worst races in the whole entire game. But don't let that throw you off. It actually has a lot of uses in the end. So with that being said, let's get right into them. Alright, so Pride. You need Pride to unlock the man, the myth, the legend, Buff himself. He's the most desirable legend right now. He's probably one of the most powerful legends, and he is definitely in the meta squad as this video is being made. Of course, it always changes, so that won't always be the case. But as we speak right now, he is the character to have. He is the best leader. He's amazing with demons. He has crazy debuff move, and I'm not going to go all into him right now, but he is worth it, boys. Like, this team right now, I'll tell you, is one of the worst teams in the game. But the reason why they're so valuable is because you use them to unlock buff. And even down the road, he's going to be a staple in your battlegrounds. So you cannot go wrong farming these guys because of who they unlock. Otherwise, I mean, they're a C minus to a C team overall, and you're probably going to end up using them in battlegrounds anyways. And so I suggest farming these guys second to last or sixth, because you also need Renara. And Renara is a legendary also. If you have not seen my other racing reviews, go back and look at Pandas, and I explain how to unlock Renara. But I'm not going into that because that's a whole nother video, and I've already made it. So go back and check that out, because I'm telling you now, you will not beat this without Renara. So you must do the Panda event and unlock her, or it might be able to be done, but I have never heard of anyone doing it. And when you play this event, in my opinion, is top 3 hardest event I've done in all of hero collecting games ever. Out of Galaxy of Heroes, out of Strike Force, out of this, it is one of the hardest events I've ever done. So I'm telling you, don't come in here unprepared. I would gear 11 everybody. I would max everybody out, because otherwise you're going to be sitting there and playing it 200, 300 times and ready to throw your phone out the window. So, guys, these guys may not be the best team, but they're still useful. You'll still find use to them, and do not come unprepared. I literally went through hell to get buff. No pun intended. It was one of the most worst times of my life. I streamed for hours and I rage quit my stream because it was that hard. So I cannot stress to you guys enough, do not come into that buff event unprepared. So let's get into who you should farm, some of the best team compositions you can use to beat this buff event. So let's start right out with the best team you can use. Note that this is not the team I used to beat buff, and this is the team that I should have used. So there are 2 leaders you can choose for your Pride team. The first one being Hera, and the second being Raval. First, let's check out Hera's leadership, and then we can decide who we want to use. Okay, so all allies from the Pride gain a 20% dodge increase. That's pretty good. When the battle starts, all allied Pride defenders gain taunt for 2 turns. All allied Pride healers and tacticians gain invisibility for 2 turns, and all allied Pride fighters gain a damage increase for 2 turns. So everyone's getting something going on with them. So this will be important for the buff event. She will give Salvador taunt right from the get-go, and that's a huge help when the buff event comes around. And that's a whole nother story, a whole nother conversation. But that really helps, so that you don't have to waste his taunt maneuver until when you need it. So that helps. If you use Revel, that won't be the case. And you're getting other buffs, you're getting invisibility and damage increase and all that. And if you have Boreas, they have a synergy going on, and that will help tremendously. Okay, that's her leadership. Let's check out Raval's. I did not use him as leader. I used Hera, but I've heard that you can beat it with both. So his leadership. All allies from the Pride gain 30% of their maximum health and a 50% chance to restore 1 turn to a random ability at the start of their turn. That's a huge deal. I mean, he's restoring abilities. after every turn. Well, a chance, but that's still huge. And they're also getting more health. So he's a pretty good leader. So you can't go wrong with either one. I like the look of Reval. I think he's cooler. He can put out some damage, but honestly, I would stick with Hera. She's not as good, but her leadership is pretty awesome. But no matter what you choose, you can't go wrong here. But it gets really tricky, guys. Now, I'm going to tell you right now who the best lineup is, and then we can work from there. Okay, the best lineup. Hera lead. Renara. Kagi. Salvador. And Boreas. Now, Boreas, he's the hardest one to farm in the game. He's only available in Tournament Store. And I strongly suggest you get Phalia first, because you'll be doing the Elf event before you do this. Farm Phalia first in the tournament, and then get Boreas. But you can't go wrong if you go first with him, but get him ASAP, because you won't be using this team till later down in the game, more in the end game, when you get buff. So try to get Boreas as fast as you can, and level him up to gear 11 as fast as you can, because I'm telling you, I wish I would have had him. Puts out a lot of damage, just a great character overall. And he makes this Pride team, you know, a lot better. Now, I'm going to show you the team that I used, and isn't near as good. I had Hera, Reval, Renara, Yogi, and Salvador. Yogi, he's very squishy, but he has 2 good moves. This one, it decreases the cooldown of random abilities of the target ally by 2 turns and restores 50% of the turn meter. So he's feeding 50% turn meter to whoever you choose, and it's bringing your cooldowns by 2. So if you're going to do it another way, you got to get him. He's farmable in the node. Get him, and he can keep, you know, feeding that turn meter over to Renara or whoever needs, or Salvador for his taunts, and just keep feeding turn meter and bringing down so that Renara can heal and so that she can revive. And trust me, you're going to be reviving a lot. And then this move deals 220% of magic damage to the target and 110% of magic damage to all other enemies. Blinds the main target for 2 turns. That blind is a huge deal. You know, you want to blind whatever character you can to hold them back a little bit. And so those are why he's kind of important. And if you don't have Boreas, then I strongly suggest Yogi. And like I just said, Hera, Revel, Renara, Salvador, and Yogi. But it's hell, guys. It's hell. So, one person to stay completely away from, guys. Do not go near Voirin the Trickster. I will tag my video at the end of this, and my top 10 worst characters in the game. He is way up there, guys. He's terrible. Squishy. Kit doesn't make sense. He's just terrible, guys. He looks cool. You know, everything else, I wish he was good, but horrible. Never put anything into this guy. I'm mad that I put 22 levels on him. That's a wasted goal I could have got back. Do not put anything into them. Roxy. She's okay, but she relies on a feather mechanic. It's unique to her, and she puts out feathers, or you gain feathers and all that, and she heals you, but it's a lot of RNG, and she's fun to use. Definitely not bad. But once again, not very many people have her, because she's only farmable in the Battlegrounds store, and I suggest about 3 other people you should farm before her. So she's not great, she's not awesome, she's not terrible. So if you can get a hold of her and she's farmable by the time you see this video, then go ahead. I don't know how she does in the buff event, but I'm sure she helps out. So we went over Hera. She's really not that great of a tune. She just has a good leadership. Other than that, I wouldn't put much into her, but you have to if you want her to be your leader. Reval has a pretty good leadership, has a really good AoE. If you got some damage on him, he can put some damage out, and that AoE is going to help. Renara, she revives and she heals. The heal is awesome. Puts regeneration on you and heals at the same time. She's great. Kagi, honestly, is a pretty... I mean, if you have him with certain characters that he synergizes with, then he's pretty good, but honestly, he's kind of trash, and I haven't put much into him because I didn't use him for the buff event. Salvador, he has some cool mechanics, but he's just kind of... I don't know. I guess he's kind of squishy for a tank. I don't know his stats. There's just something he's missing, kind of. but he has this, he can taunt, and he has this really cool move where I think it's unique to him too, where it's a shell move. I don't know what it's called, but while that buff is on him, he can't take any damage. So it's cool to taunt, and then the next round hit that, and people are hitting him, and you can't do anything about it. And so he's pretty cool. I like the look of him, and he's pretty cool. I don't hate Salvador. Now I do want to brag that I did beat the buff event with everyone gear 10 except for Renara. Take her straight up to gear 12 as soon as you get her to. Always take your legends up to gear 12. You never can go wrong with that. And she's just kind of squishy, so you want to put as much, gear and everything into her to keep her from dying at any moment, because you'll use her in a lot of stuff, battlegrounds and everything else. So that's about it, guys. I mean, there's not a lot to say about these guys, because you're only going to use them, except for Renara, you're going to use everyone else only for this buff event and a little bit in battlegrounds, and that's it. So there's not much use for them, but what there is you get a big result from farming them, because Buff is a huge character and he's very important in this game. And if you want to be in the end game and competitive, you have to have Buff. And in order to have Buff, you have to have Pride, unfortunately. And I'm sure that down the road they're going to add characters and the Pride will have a resurgence. But at this time, they're a C- team. Maybe even a D, because you have to really know their kits. You have to use their abilities at certain times when another character's doing something else, and you really have to have this team down just to make a little bit of difference. So hopefully we get some more characters in the Pride. I love the look of the Pride. They look really cool. Like, everyone's look on here is awesome, and I just wish they were a little bit better. I mean, who can't love a human white tiger thing? You know what I'm saying? I love foxes. They're like my favorite animal. I love lizard looking guys, but they just don't have what it takes. And hopefully we get more characters and things get a little bit better. So with that being said, guys, that's Pride. Alright guys, hopefully this helps you out a lot. I love making these racing reviews, but we're only one more to go and then we're done. We have Goblins up next, and then as of today, we have no more factions. I have a feeling that we have a new faction coming out soon. I don't know, but they've teased it months ago, and it has to be coming out soon. So hopefully this video helps you out, shows you who to farm, who to stay away from, and I just really appreciate you guys' time, your guys' input, and everything else. I couldn't do this without you. XMG family, I love you guys. I appreciate everything you do. Zary, I always got love for you, brother. You're like the godfather of Dragon Champs, man. And if you guys don't know who XMG is, I have his YouTube link down at the bottom. Go check it out. Come join my Discord. Join Zary's Discord. I'm in there more than my Discord almost. We have a lot of good conversations. Have a great time. If you have any questions, most likely Zary, I, and the hundreds of people in his Discord can help you out. We're building a great community and a lot of good people in there. And I just strongly suggest come hang out with us and just talk to us and have a good time with us. With that being said, guys, I can't thank you enough for all your support. And if this helped you, please hit subscribe and like it. It helps my channel, it helps everyone else I associate with, and it'll help me grow and make more good videos and spend more time with you guys. I love you all, and I'm out. Peace.